This is my media clip final project. Intellectual information. So in 2010, President Obama changed the wording from mental retardation to intellectual disability. The act, the definition, means that disability is limited with the person and how the person wants to function and what the person is capable of. Removing of the R word is, I think, brilliant. A lot of people use it in a negative manner and use it towards people that have an intellectual disability, not necessarily the person themselves, but they make the word that's like what it's used for. I know that I had a student who used the word, and I had to sit down and talk with him and explain to him why it's not okay to use those words, and how offensive it is, just like the videos that we watched in this class. It's offensive to the family members and not necessarily the person who has the intellectual disability, but they take offense to it as well. It's not something that people want to hear, and it's not something that I like to hear. I have dealt with a student making fun of another student that I helped in a PE class. I know that we're playing a kickball game, it's all fun, and this student was upset because he said that we were in the way, blaming us for not getting the out and why they're losing. And so I had brought him into the principal's office, and we explained why it isn't okay to make fun of other people or blame them for things that they can't control, and what we can't, move as fast as he can, or we can't defend ourselves from the ball getting kicked at us. Just those types of things, and making sure that they are aware that they are supposed to be helping and watching out for, students like that, and not making fun of them. So some characteristics of intellectual disabilities is the limitations and the adaptive behavior. So some students are motivated differently. I know that I had a student who liked to work for grapes. He would sit down, or he would like to walk around the classroom, and when I would ask him to sit down and I would have a grape, I would say first sit, then grape, and he would sit and he would know that he would get the reward. Also, that same student liked to ride the trike. So he liked to ride it around the school and the gym, and he knew that he had to get his work done, so we knew we were working for the bike or the trike. He liked to also run into walls or try to hit students in the hallway and, those types of things. And so we would have to talk about, what are the rules when we ride the trike and why they're important. Why do we have to have those rules? And so then if he knew that if he didn't follow those rules, we would have to go back to class and there would be no more trike. So he was still motivated to want to use the trike. Some of the adaptive behaviors are conceptual skills. So reading and writing, understanding the value of money, and self-direction. So knowing where to go, say in school. So this specific student knows where PE class is, so they know how to walk to the gym, or know where the science classroom is. So knowing how to walk to the science class by themselves and not having the adult with them every second. Social skills, like rule following, sometimes is hard. Holding conversations is hard, and self-direction, like I said, knowing where to go for classes. Daily living skills and occupational skills in safe environments. So knowing, if there's a fire, they have to get out of that room, try to get out of the building, ask for help, or if, something happens to their parents at home and it's just them, to call 911, if they are capable of doing those types of things. Daily living skills of knowing to put clean dishes in the dishwasher, and unloading means that they are clean. And knowing how to plug in the toaster into the wall, those types of things. And then determining causes is not it's not for sure, and there could be a combination of risk factors. But there is timing of, during the birth process. Prenatal is before birth, so like the chromosome disorder, so Down syndrome, have an extra chromosome. Perinatal is the birth process, so there could be some birth injuries. And then postnatal is after birth, so there could be some infections or some brain injuries that occur. I chose to do inclusion for social information. I think inclusion is a big thing that should be included in everyone's IEP that are usually the students that are in the self-contained classrooms. Inclusion is a process in general education curriculum, so there's some goals that need to be met. The opportunity to be independent, to have full participation. In the IEP, it states the student will be involved in the general education classroom. There's some common core standards that help them for later on in the future as they keep going through school. And then the IEP team considers what the student needs in the classroom when they're in the general education classroom. So if they need extended time for a test, or if they need separate setting, small group in the classroom. So accommodations is how the information is presented. If the student needs breaks in the middle of a 90-minute class, or the last 10 minutes, however the teacher decides that and the student. And then grading what is done. So making sure that they're not docking points for the student not completing 25 answers for the 25 questions. Maybe it's split in half and the student has to do half of that. And grading what is done. So the IDEA requires school districts to provide an appropriate education based on each student's strengths. IDEA requires education to assess the student goals, and then some of the test steps are standards and benchmarks. Age and grade appropriate placement, some of the characteristics, that's one of them. Making sure that the student is in the correct grade, and they're not in a lower grade or a higher grade, and trying to get as much minutes in the general education classroom as they can. Restructuring teaching and learning, so a group of teachers, related services, the family, and the student coming together and talking about what is needed in the classroom, general education classroom, and what's going to make them successful. And eliminating the continuum of placement. So in order to meet minutes, the student needs to be in the general education classroom and not in the restricted environment. Increasing the amount of time in general education classroom is one of the main goals. So you want to get as much minutes as you can in that classroom. Students with disabilities can be successful in the classroom if they are set up appropriately with the support and instruction that is needed for that specific student. And then social, student with autism have a harder time with social skills. They won't go up to a person and start talking to them, or it's harder for them to hold a conversation. They just rather be by themselves, and they don't really have any interest in finding friends. Communication disorder, speech helps them communicate what they need to communicate, of like how they feel and how they want to talk. Emotional or behavior disorder, one of them is separation anxiety, so the person they are most attached to, they have a hard time of separating from them. And also meeting new people, it's hard for them to be in big crowds or social gatherings. Students with ADHD, they're affected with socially, internally and externally. They have trouble picking up certain cues of like someone's voice, like if it's angry and why they're mad, or facial expressions. So if the person looks irritated while they're talking to them, to know like they should stop talking or end the conversation. Students with traumatic brain injury. So if a student's in school and they get in some sort of accident and they're gone in the hospital for a long time. They have a hard time coming back to school, not sure of what other students are going to say, how they're going to be treated. They just kind of are hesitant about that. And then gifted students, from the book, I read that they're labeled to be bullied more because of their title as gifted. The student usually has harder time being hard on themselves, rather than the parents being hard and making sure they're getting their work done and pushing them and those sorts of things. The cognitive and academic information. So students with autism can range from any different cognitive levels. I know some that are pretty low that are in 6th grade that are 2nd grade level, and then I know one that's in the same grade that is grade level. So it just kind of varies. But the 3 intellectual disabilities that are affected in academic is cerebral palsy, communication disorders, and students with ADHD. Those are all affected in school. They have a hard time staying on task, or they have some cognitive impairments. They're affected in their school setting. And then some of the others just kind of vary from what they're independently diagnosed with and what their capabilities are. And that's my presentation. Thank you.